فقد أمري إلى الله إن الله بصير بالعباد ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي دل على ذاته بذاته وتنزه عن مجانسة مخلوقاته وجل عن ملائمة كيفياته، الذي قرب من خواطر الظنون وبعد عن لحظات العيون وعلم بما كان قبل يكون، الذي أرقدني في مهاد أمنه وأمانه وأيقظني إلى ما منحني به من مننه وإحسانه وكف كف السوء عني بيده وسلطانه، والصلاة والسلام على الدليل إليه في الليل الأليل والماسك بأسبابه بحبل الشرف الأطول والناصح الحسب في ذروة الكاهل الأعبل والثابت القدم على زحالفها في الزمن الأول بالقاسم محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا، ورحمة الله على محبيهم ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين، الذين اشتروا الضلالة بالهدى فما ربحت تجارتهم وما كانوا مهتدين. أما بعد، فقد قال الله وهو أصدق القائلين وقوله الحق. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا نودي للصلاة من يوم الجمعة فاسعوا إلى ذكر الله وذروا البيع ذلكم خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون. فإذا قضيت الصلاة فانتشروا في الأرض وابتغوا من فضل الله واذكروا الله كثيرا لعلكم تفلحون. صلوا على النبي. I don't know medium is English or Urdu. जी English is I begin in the name of Allah, the gracious, the merciful. We are gathered here. I thought we are in London, 8 o'clock, supposed to be the program start. Anyhow, the subject is, the topic of hand is present economical crisis and Islamic perspective about these events. The ayah two ayats of the Surah Al-Jumu'ah, you always listen in the Salat Al-Jumu'ah, if the Imam Al-Jumu'ah recites the Surah Al-Jumu'ah. Surah Al-Jumu'ah is 62nd Surah of the Quran. First I request myself, for all of you to please read Quran every day, at least few ayats. Imam Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam has hadith, Allahumma salli ala Al-Quran ahadullah ila khalqih. Quran is covenant towards the people. It is a promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, promise of mankind which has been made to Allah. And that is the ayat also says clearly, Alam ahad ilaykum ya bani Adam alla ta'budu shaitan innahu lakum aduwwum mubin. That is a hint, it is a covenant between us and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The promise and contract we have made to Allah. And we should know our contract, our promise, our covenant. in order to fulfill it. Thus Imam says, Al-Quran ahadullah ila khalqih. Quran is covenant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala towards his creatures. فَيَنْبَغِي لِلْمَرْءِ الْمُسْلِمِ أَنْ يَقْرَأُوا أَحْدَهُ. It is incumbent upon a Muslim to read what he has promised. And then Imam says, أَنْ يَقْرَأُ مِنْهُ 50 آيَةً فِي كُلِّ يَوْمٍ. Recite at least 50 ayats a day. There are ahadith which says, at least even Quran says, فَقْرَأُوا مَا تَيَسَّرَ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ. Read as much as you can from this Quran. So Quran is a book of reality. It is a book of truth. Nothing but truth. مَا فَرَّتْنَا مِنَ الْكِتَابِ مِنْ شَيْءٍ فِي الْكِتَابِ مِنْ شَيْءٍ. Quran says we have not neglected a thing in this book. Everything is there. تِبِيَانٌ لَكُلِّ شَيْءٍ. It gives clear guidance to humanity. شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس. It is not a book of community, it is a book of humanity. So thus I request you and myself, to my conscience, to read this before you go to sleep. Sleep with the Quran. Because Quran changes the perspective of human being. Once the perspective has changed, the action will change. Actions are direct results of our perspectives. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O who you believe. إذا نودي للصلاة من يوم الجمعة فاسعوا إلى ذكر الله. When the call to Jummah prayer is been done, it has been called, and a call of adhan of Jummah prayer. فاسعوا إلى ذكر الله. Sa'i, inshallah, I think many of you have gone, and those inshallah you are not going to go to Hajj. There is a sa'i between Safa and Marwa. Sa'i means a brisk walk, not only going slow walk. You go a little bit rushy. Fas'aw ila dhikrillah. When it comes to the Salatul Jum'ah, rush towards the zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wadarul bay. Leave out all of your transactions. It is a noon time, of course, market is warm and you are in the market. Maybe you are working. Everything put aside, rush towards the salat. Before I go further, we have ahadith. When it comes to the daily salat al-jama'ah, hadith says, Masum's hadith, when you go, don't rush to salat. In the day-to-day jama'at of 6 days, and 35 jama'at prayer, 34 times, hadith says, when salat call is called, adhan is being said, don't rush. Wudu. Alaykum bit tamanina was sukoon was sakina. Take slow steps with full of matana, full of confidence, full of peace. Don't rush. So for 34 salat, don't rush. Go slow. When it comes to Jum'ah, rush. Fas'aw ila dhikrillah. Here there is no tamanina, you rush. Why? Many people, they say joining in Jummah prayer is enough. That's why they enter at the last rakat or last ayat of the Imam Jama'at. In the case of Jummah prayer, why do we have, it has been replaced, Jummah is replaced Salat. Salatul Dhuhr is the prayer, wajib prayer. It is replaced by Zuhr, is replaced by Jummah. So 4 rakats supposed to be 4 rakat Jummah. So he said, no. 2 rakat is khutbah of 2, and 2 rakat is salat. So that means 2 rakat is equal to khutbah of the Imam Jamaat. So Islam is clearly telling us ideology and practice. Without learning the ideology, you cannot practice. So you understand first and then you pray. In Khutbatul Jumu'ah, Imam Rada alayhi salatu wassalam, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. It is the duty of the speaker or the person who is leading the Jummah prayer. What he has to do? يُخْبِرُهُمْ بِمَا وَقَعَ فِي الْآفَاقِ. He has to analyze what is happening in this 1 week. And a political analyze. What is the situation of Muslim Ummah, where we are, what is our duties. That's why in olden days, my father was an alim. He never led Jummah prayer. He used to say it's a very difficult task. Many ulamas, many scholars, they rejected leading the Jummah prayer because of this condition. That you have to be very smart enough to understand the situation of humankind, exclusively the Muslim Ummah, and analyze, let the audience, those who are participating, the Ma'mumin, should know what is happening in the world. Imam says, يُخْبِرُهُمْ بِمَا وَقَعَ فِي الْآفَاقِ. Entire globe, what's happening? Earthquake is in Quetta, and economical earthquake is in Western countries. So all this has to be analyzed, talk it out, and let your audience be well aware of the fact. Many a times we say we don't have media, Maulana, we don't have media. Unfortunately, we do have media. That media is Jummah Khutbah in Majalis. Salawat Padi Muhammad. Unfortunately, these medias have not been used properly. It's supposed to be used properly. And when we say it's hurting. Anyhow, Quran says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. Now it is focused to the believers. Who are these believers? إنما المؤمنون الذين إذا ذكروا الله وجلت قلوبهم وإذا تليت عليهم آياته زادتهم إيمانا. Who are these believers? Whenever name of Allah is being mentioned in front of these believers, their heart starts pounding. Every moment, each and every time, their iman is increasing. So iman is not static. We call it rukud and jumud. So a moment, that's enough now. قو على خدمتك جوانه واشدد على العزيمة جواره وهب لي الجد في خشيتك والدوام في الاتصال بخدمتك حتى أصرح إليك في ميادين السابقين. Imam Ali in this Waikumel is teaching us, you pray in this way, oh Allah, make me sabiqeen. So what is the meaning of sabiqeen? As-sabiqun, as-sabiqun, ulaika al-muqarrabun. Quran says sabiq. When Prophet Muhammad declared his prophethood, who was the first one who said, Labbaik ya Rasulallah? Khadijatul Kubra, Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, these are the, oh Allah, make me Sabiq, make me Khadija. So although 1400 years time has gone, but still you have to go in front of that. So that's how Iman is not static, it is a dynamic. Every moment there is a room to become better Muslims. That's why Hasabu kulla yawmin. Assess every day. Hadith says, assess every day. Where am I? You know, some nowadays the big malls are there. Even if you have gone to zoo with your kids, if it is a complicated map, there is a map. It says you are here. So we have to go and tonight and make a map of your life and circle, I am here. Where are we? Aina tadhabun? Quran is saying, where are you going? Kaifa tahkumun? How do you judge? So, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, mu'mineen, those who are committed people, not, that's why I say, one is iman, biological iman. Our forefathers were Muslims, Shias, we also. And genetic iman. In an alim here in London, he was narrating me a story. Was offering namaz-e-shab. After the namaz-e-shab, he was holding tasbih. Hast knees, hast knees, hast knees. God is there or not? This alim asked, just now you offered namaz-e-shab. And now you are saying hast knees. He said, namaz-e-shab, because my father used to pray, I am also used to it. Still the doubt is there. So we do so many things genetically. There is no reality in it. Maybe our prayers is because genes in our genes are maybe. No, Islam is asking, you understand first what you are doing. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, meaning of Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, hadith we have. Whenever you read this ayah in the Holy Quran, many places, Quran says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. What do you have to say? Immediately say, Labbaik, Allahumma labbaik. Just like in Hajj, you say, Labbaik, here I am. I have seen one good seerah in Hyderabad, Deccan. It is very beautiful. Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. They don't say only salwa. They say first labbaik. From where they are saying? This hadith of Masum. Whenever read an ayah of the Quran where Quran says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, Quran is talking to you. So at this time what you have to say? Labbaik. I am here, I am ready to listen to you. Tell me. Because this is the truth. What is outside it is nothing. Imam as-Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam says, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. If you say, I wish this could have been in the Holy Quran, Imam said, that wish also there. I have ma farratna fil kitabi min shay. Nothing has been left. Everything is there. And exclusively the follower of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam should read more because you have Quran and also you have tafsir also. Other people, they don't have tafsir. So, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu idha nudiya lis-salati min yawmil jumu'ah. So to whom Allah is talking to believers. So there are three groups of people in the world. When you read this Surah Al-Baqarah, first group is mu'mineen, yu'minuna bil-ghayb wa yuqimuna salat. The second group, 5 ayats about mu'mineen. 5 ayats about mu'mineen. And 2 ayats about kuffar. Khatam Allah ala qulubihim wa la samihim wa la absarihim ghishawa. They sealed up, don't work on it. They have HIV positive. They cannot be changed. Forget it. Sealed off, kuffar. And then 13 ayat about munafiqeen. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made 3 kind of human groups. One is mu'mineen, those who believe. Who are these believers? They really believe. There is no curtain between them and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, between them. That's why Imam Ali says, لَوْ كُشِفَ الْغِطَى لَمَّزْدَدْتُ يَقِينًا. Even if curtain is been removed, my certainty will never increase. Today you go and ask, I'll go to ask, I am also with you. I am not saying while I am sitting and member, I am something. No. I am with you. Let's go and tonight ask ourselves, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu means what? What it means? What is in the Quran? Quran is talking to the believers. Who are these believers? I'll give an example. Think in this London, everybody is blind. Only you have the eye. And you say, oh, so many bridges are beautiful, river is beautiful. And all London people, they are listening to you. So, ho sakta hai, it could be. When they will believe it is true, if they believe you have eyes, then they recognize, yes, he's saying true. So between us, the Anbiya and the Prophet and Imams, this is the difference. And they are the people who have seen everything, and we are blind. And first we have to believe in them in order to understand what they are saying. Salawat Padhi. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, oh who you believe, idha nudiya lis-salati min yawmil jum'ah, when call to the prayer of Jum'ah is there, fas'aw, rush toward the salat, because khutbah Jum'ah is going on. So you have to be in the Jum'ah khutbah. Jum'ah khutbah is so powerful. Hadith we have al-Jum'ah hajjul fuqara. Jum'ah is Hajj for the needy people, those who cannot go to Hajj. So powerful. Last July, and this July I was in Mashhad. Imam Radat, may Allah accept the ziyarah. Allah give all of us the tawfiq of wila of Ahlul Bayt and Wasalam. One of our Iranian brothers, he recognized me, he took me in front of the Imam al-Jama'at in Jummah prayer. I was so happy. Before Namaz al-Jummah, Khutbah al-Jummah, agriculture minister was talking about what's happening in the province. You know why they are afraid of Iran? This is why. It is not they have the power. It is the religion which is flourishing in the masses. It is the theory which was theory. Now it is becoming practical. And this mission is becoming the truth and visible. Islam is not only by tongue, it is total Islam is emerging. And that's how Islam is. Islam is not only namaz and roza and hajj, no. Islam is first is iman. Iman means you have to go in a different world. What is that world? If you say salawat, inshallah. Islam says human beings' reality is compound reality. There is a difference between these two perspectives. Islam is saying human body is temporary machine mechanism. It will demolish the reality of humanity is there. So that means Islam says it is a compound reality, body and soul, ruh and jism. Once we accept these two realities, body has its own needs and soul has to have its own needs. And these two has to go together. If one is lack, there is a catastrophe in the life. That's how this ayat is joining both. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu idha nudiya lis-salati min yawmil jum'ah fas'aw ila dhikrillah. Adhan has been called of Jum'ah. Rush towards the zikr of Allah. Leave transaction. No more transaction. Because you are a believer. Go, because you have to feed your soul. Until now you are feeding your jism, your body. Now you feed your soul. فَاسْعَوْا إِلَىٰ ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ وَذَرُوا الْبَيْعَ ذَلِكُمْ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ إِن كُنتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. It is better if you know it. Then after that, فَإِذَا قُضِيَتِ الصَّلَاةُ فَانْتَشِرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ. Once salat is finished, rush, go into the market. Hadith we have the seerah of Nabi of sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It says seeratul Nabi. After the Jummah, he used to make sure he used to go into market. He used to buy, because the ayah says once the salat of Jummah is finished, you go into the market. فَانْتَشِرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ وَابْتَغُوا مِنْ فَضْلِ اللَّهِ وَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ كَثِيرًا لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ. Here comes the difference between materialistic world and non-materialistic world. The Islam and non-Islamic perspective. Islam says whatever you are achieving, it is not you, it is given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is the reality of the economy, Islamic economy. You just had Ramadan 1 month before. The khutbah of Prophet Muhammad. I hope you have heard from the khutbahs from the Allama MashaAllah, nowadays ilm is flourishing and we have to give a little bit time and understand. The famous khutbah of the Prophet Muhammad before Ramadan, قَدْ أَقْبَلَ إِلَيْكُمْ شَهْرُ اللَّهِ بِالْبَرْكَةِ وَالرَّحْمَةِ وَالْمَغْفِرَةِ. You are approaching a month of rahmat and barakat, and then he says, دُعِيتُمْ إِلَىٰ ضِيَافَةِ اللَّهِ. You have been invited to be guest of Allah subhanahu. Okay. Hypothetically, if your president invites, prime minister invites you, forget local leader invites you. So you will take your friend and pictures in your drawing room, that picture is there. For a lifetime. It's a big time. And you always remember. How should we be proudful? The Prophet says, you have been invited by Allah. Guest of Allah. In that khutbah, one particular piece is related to economy, nothing to do with fasting. وَوَقَرُوا كِبَارَكُمْ وَارْحَمُوا صِغَارَكُمْ وَصَلُوا أَرْحَامَكُمْ. When it comes to elderly people, be respectful. When it comes to younger people, you have to be kind towards them. Be kind towards your children. And then have good communication with your family. Silatul Raham is. What is Silatul Raham? Two things all of us we want. All of us we want this. Everyone enjoys. Number one is wealth. Number two is long life. All of us, we don't want to die early. It's a human nature. We want to be a longer life. And Hadith says these two things never comes from you, but from Silatul Raham. If you want long life, it is from Silatul Raham. If you want good job and job security, job insurance is not from them. It's job insurance from Silatul Raham. If you cut off your relationship from your parents, from your father, from your brother, and if you see the problem, first you rectify your problem. Then the risk is there. So Quran is saying the economy belongs to Muslims. It is because they believe the provider is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا نودي للصلاة من يوم الجمعة فاسعوا إلى ذكر الله. That's what Quran always says. Be balanced. Always balance yourself. وابتغ فيما آتاك الله دار الآخرة. Make this world as a source to reach to Akhirat. And while you are doing so, لا تنسى نصيبك من الدنيا. Don't forget this world. You need car, you need house, you need these things. It is a means, but not your target. Quran is balanced. Hadith says so beautiful. Man taraka dunya le akhirate wa man taraka al akhirate le dunya laysa min. The one who says, I don't want this world, I want only akhirat. The one who says, I want this world, I don't want that akhirat. Both of them, Hadith says, they are not from us. Masum said, they are nothing to do with us. So we need akhirat, we need also dunya. So while we are achieving dunya, we should not forget the akhirat. How can we do that? For example, today we are in biggest problem of mess. Why this mess is started? Quran says, mimma kasabat aydikum. You have earned it. What is this? I don't have money, man. Don't worry, we'll give you. From where? You don't have. Before, in the olden days, what they used to do, they used to change commodities to commodity. After a while, what happened? The gold coins, silver coins, dinar and dirham. After that, currency started coming. We have hadith, when currency introduced, Shaitan said, oh, this is the day. I am so happy today. Humanity is gone now. Currency has been introduced. And now there is no currency. Your job money is coming by number from the bank to the bank. And you are paying your mortgage from your bank to bank. Everything is going number. We call it sab numbari ho gaye. See? Nothing is there. solid. So the one whose income is limited, how can he buy a house? How can he buy a car? How can you have? He has Visa card, which is golden visa. Don't worry, you have it. We will give you. How long you going to survive? What is the solution? Man dalladhi yuqridu Allahu qardan hasana. Salawat padhiye. Allah says, you come to me. Who is there to give loan to me? Mandal, lend me money, Allah says. Wal ghani anil alamin, who is not needy. Allah says, I am needy. You give me, man. So helping a human being, helping a mu'min brother, as if you are lending. Why Islam says? So it's a beautiful book. I think you all should read Our Economy of Shaheed Baqri Ustad. It is available online. It's a very tough book. I'm not an economist, but the general knowledge tells me, how can a bank earn without interest? He has proven the fact. Yes, it can be possible. And that is only Islamic values. But unfortunately, we lost the faith between each other. For example, a small organization just like An-Nur, 10, 15 people start Qardul Hasana. We don't believe. We believe in that bank. We don't believe in. The Quran says, "Innamal mu'minuna ikhwa." Salawat padhi. So where the problem lies? The problem is the first step. The problem is the day-to-day life which we are leading is not Islamic life. And majority of us, we don't know Islam is a socio-economical political system. After the revolution of Iran, when I was 29, 30 years before, I used to speak in the khutbah of Jummah. After each and every khutbah, call from the president. Maulana, ye siyasat ki chakkar kya hai? Why you talk about this? We are just came in Canada. Let us survive. Here is a shirk. I think British is giving me rizq. And while I say La ilaha, that is not the case. Allah says, you do whatever you want. If I don't want to give you it, you're never going to get it. Even if you get it, it is the imtihan, it is a test. If you don't have, that's also a test. If you have been given, it is also a test. It is me who is the provider. I am the raziq, you are not the raziq. If we believe in such a thing, then the problem starts resolving. The mess of today, it is because power, they thought power is going to give them money. In khutbah of Jummah of today, I did mention this. You know this. In Iraq. How? While I was studying history, after Nagasaki and Hiroshima, there's not going to be any catastrophe. Because human being has learned, and now we have so-called UNO, 111 articles, and very beautiful articles. I read it. You go and read it. Only one thing is not there, that is Allah. Everything is beautiful. And minus Allah is nothing, everything is Allah. After Nagasaki and Hiroshima, in the present day and age, within 4 years, 1.2 million human beings have been killed. And believe me, it is not Sunni is killing Shia, it's not Sunni, Shia is killing Sunni. In Iraq was an example for entire Arabian Peninsula, because in Iraq, many mingled marriages are there. They had no hatred towards each other. It has been done by Munafiqeen. 4 million orphans and 2 million widows. بِأَيِّ ذَنْبٍ قُتِلَتْ. And from 4 years they are stealing the wealth of Iraqis. And world is watching. So that's why Imam Khomeini used to say, don't ever wait for justice. Snatch justice. Salawat padhiye Muhammad. They're never going to give you justice. They are liars. And now when we come here, Maulana, oh, यहाँ पर Western country में अदालत है Maulana. Oh, justice है यहाँ पर. Oh. I give example. There are muggers in India and Pakistan. In the third world country, there are muggers group, 5, 10, 20 groups. The daytime they mug, and evening they gather all the wealth. अब चलो इंसाफ से बांटें. Say this is the insaf. They mug from all over the world, and then when it comes to their country, they have salawat padhi. And understanding. I don't know, I'm going fast, I don't know what is happening. Everything is okay, inshallah. Salawat padhi. You go and ask yourself every day 5 times a day prayers. Why I have to pray? And 5 times a day prayer I'm praying. How many of us we concentrate on the prayer? Do we know what we say? I go all over the world. People used to ask Maulana, I don't know what happens. Once we start namaz, there's no tomato, eggs, these, that, all the grocery list. Whatever we forget, it comes. What is the reason? The first reason, we don't know what we are talking. So at least we need, so I have made a book, small booklet. The first step towards the concentration of the salah. That is meaning. 135 words in 4 rakat namaz. Only 135 words. 42 sentences. When you say Bismillah, the meaning has to come in your mind. And in that you have to say, اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا. Show us right path. The path of those upon whom you bestowed favors. Not the path of those who have gone astray. Not the path of those who have misled. Who are these people? So why every day I have to pray 5 times? The philosophy is zikrullah. Why zikrullah 5 times? So that you can reflect the sifat of Allah subhanahu. The philosophy of ibadat is only human being has the ability to reflect the sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You say 10 times in 10 rakat. Every day 5 times is namaz salat is wajib. First 2 rakat is Suratul Hamd is wajib. All Sunni brothers, they believe without Suratul Hamd there is no salat. La salata illa bi Suratul Hamd. You have to recite. So that means you have to say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, and then Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. So how many times? 20 times you are repeating. And same sifat, which means one sifat, which is Allah's rahmat, kindness and mercifulness, you repeat 40 times. And at the same time you are not kind towards your family. That means that salat is not reflecting me. So I am praying, my mouth is turning. So that's why Quran says, Hum an salatihim sahun. Woe to the people, those who pray namaz, but they are neglecting namaz. They pray namaz, they don't follow the philosophy of namaz. It's a reflection of the sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we can reflect one sifat, is our mi'raj. Ahlul Bayt had reflected all the sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In that, Inna Allah alimun bil-zalimin. Allah is well aware of about the zalimin. So that means it is our duty to know who are the zalimin. Then our salat is going to be completed. Sirat al-ladina an'amta alayhim also we have to be aware of. And zalimin, who are the zalimin, we have to be aware of. That's why a follower of Ahlul Bayt, यहाँ 10 तो पा कटेंगे, यहाँ जान पर बनेगी, ये मोहब्बत अली है, कोई दिल लगी नहीं. Someone said to Imam said, Hubbuna sa'bun musta'asab. Our love is very difficult. Someone comes to Imam Sadiq and says, I love you. Just like many times after Majlis, no, it was good. I love you. It's good expression. I am fan of you. If that person comes to Imam Sadiq, I love you. Imam said, from tomorrow get ready for problems. Why? What happened? I'm expressing my love towards him. He says, from tomorrow problems. Because following Ahlul Bayt, it's a tough choice. Ahlul Bayt means action. It is not by mouth. Salawat padi Muhammad. Alhamdulillah, after 1400 years, first hukuma was hukuma of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Islamic hukumat in Medina. And the second was the true hukuma of 4.5, 5 years of Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam. And now we have not the Imam, the reflection of the Imamat's hukumat is being there. And we have to recognize that. It is socio-economical political system which is leading Muslim Ummah. This is the right path. I was in Ramadan last year in Dubai, in Al Jazeera newspaper. The headline was, the leader of Muslim Arab youths is Ahmad al-Najad or Hassan Nasrullah. The headlines. I don't know why they have given it. There could be philosophy behind it. Because when there's something, we have to be very careful. We should never get happy. إِذَا جَاءَ فَاسِقٌ بِالنَّبَإٍ فَتَبَيَّنُوا. When a fasiq comes with the news, be careful, test it. Why they are saying this? Because they recognize now the reality of religion is emerging in that part of the world. And inshallah very soon you see this current is passing all over the world. And it is us, we, or the follower of Ahlul Bayt, has to act now. How can we act? By practicing religion, not by mouth. Practice, total practice. And believe this is the only system which can survive. As after 9/11, the president of the big shaitanic country, he said it, we will survive. No, they will not survive. Islam will survive. Nothing will survive. Because Quran clearly says, هُوَ الَّذِي أَرْسَلَ رَسُولَهُ بِالْهُدَى وَدِينِ الْحَقِّ لِيُظْهِرَهُ عَلَى الدِّينِ كُلِّهِ وَلَوْ كَرِهَ الْمُشْرِكُونَ. Allah is the one who sent the prophet and the religion of truth. And nothing will survive religion of Islam. But we need to do something. Survive means it's not something from miraculously it comes. No, we have to do something. In conclusion, I'll give something from the hadith in the Ghadir Khum. It's a beautiful thing. The only khutbah which has been delivered for 4 hours was Ghadir's khutbah. 4 hours khutbah. It is available on net, you can read it. Prophet says to Jibrail, Prophet says himself, Nazala Jibrail thalatha marrah. Before the declaration of Ghadir's Wilayat of Mawla Amil Mu'min, Jibrail came to me 3 times. I says, Ista'afni, please, excuse me, I cannot do this. I know, nobody's going to follow. That's why the tune of ayat is, Ya ayyuhar Rasul, balligh ma unzala ilayka min rabbik. You have to convey. And don't worry about the people, because truth has to be conveyed. Prophet Muhammad says 3 times, I don't want. Why? Says himself, Li'ilmi, I have knowledge. Number 1, Kathratul munafiqeen, illatul mu'minin. There are 3 groups or more, I don't want to go there. That's enough today for tonight. Kathratul munafiqeen, majority are hypocrites. They don't follow a religion. And qillatul mu'minin. Why Imam Ali has to sit for 25 years? Kathratul munafiqeen, qillatul mu'minin. Why Imam Hassan has to do sulh? Kathratul munafiqeen, qillatul mu'mineen. Why Imam Hussein has to go to Karbala? Kathratul munafiqeen, qillatul mu'mineen. Why Imam Zainul Abidin? Chain and everything. Kathratul munafiqeen, qillatul mu'mineen. Why Imam is not coming? Kathratul munafiqeen. Salawat padi Muhammad. It is a fact. Qalilun, Quran says, Qalilun ma yashkurun. Very few of them, very few who thank. Very few who recognize this, because it is the world which is beyond this world. And inshallah, if we could do this, I don't know how many of you, they abuse the name of Islamic banking system in the Western country. You know that? Even in Muslim countries, just I go to UAE, Islamic banks, nothing is inside Islam. Just like same thing, halal shop, there is no halal meat. You know that there was a research here in Britain in 1986, 87, big articles. 90% of people, those who were selling meat in the name of halal, there was no halal. They used to take from that door and sell in the name of, because Muslims are naive. That because he said it, Bismillah. So Islamic bank, nothing is Islamic bank inside. Everything is led by the same system. Same thing they did in the Western countries. And we have to be very alert. And last 6 months before, they introduced in Australia Islamic bank. In Australia. Where is Islamic bank? Because I don't believe in riba. Okay, I don't believe in, this Muslim says, I don't believe in riba. Riba means interest. Okay, you don't believe in riba. So come to us. We'll give you. There is an account where you're never going to get riba. And same brother who has a house and mortgage, every month he pays 1,000. Never thinks. And for taking pennies, he's asking it. While it is giving also haram, it's taking also haram. When I went to Canada, I introduced how can we have 100 members and a house without paying a single penny interest. Nobody believe, oh, young man, he's asking, he's saying, we can do this. Because we never believe in Islam has a capacity to lead. Economically also. Salawat padi Muhammad. Last not the least, in order to get sawab of this majlis, 2-3 जुमले देखिए कितना इकोनॉमी से मरबूत है करबला. And Karbala is an institution, constitution. Each and every event has to be thoroughly checked. Imam Hussain, the last day, 9th of Ashur. He says, oh Abbas, go and arrange a meeting between the commander-in-chief of Yazid, Ibn Sa'ad, and between me. I want to talk to you. Why Ahmadinejad says, I want to talk to you? From this is the house. Salawat padi Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. This is the house which is teaching us. On the day, tomorrow will be the war. The war which is a tragedy. The meeting was arranged. Nobody was there inside the tent. It has been organized in such a way, one person with Imam Hussain and one person with Amar Hussain. So that shows for us, we have to learn one thing. Communication should never stop, even with an enemy. Always talk, discuss. In that tent, the discussion is, Imam says, why do you do this? He says, oh, Mulk Rai. You know, Rai is Tehran. The Shah Abdul Azim's Rawza, which we have, that is Rai. That was a very precious place during that time. And Yazid is telling me, I am going to get that. So for that, Imam says, I will going to give you whatever you want. Imam Hussain is promising, whatever you want, I will give you. Then he says, if I don't follow him, he will go to destroy my farmland. Imam says, I'll give you better than this. And he has no answer. This is the logic of Imam. Imam is sitting there. He's saying, he is promising, I will going to give Nawasai Rasul. He recognizes his authority. When he sees nothing is there at the end, he says, I don't want my children to suffer. At that moment, Imam Hussain said, Inna lillahi. What a man is. His children should be saved, others' children. Can you imagine that concept? Iraq should be destroyed, they are safe. Same attitude of Umar Assad. Nothing has changed. Because zulm cannot be done on air. Someone is accepting the will. Islam never allows to accept. We have to reject. That's why Imam Khomeini, in 8 years of war, Iraq, get up, Iraq, get up, Iraq, get up. If you do today, you will be honored. With izzah, you will be successful. Unfortunately, never heard the call. Second time, economy and Karbala. ये बातें बहुत कम सुनेंगे, आप लोग गौर से सुनिए. Last moment, घर पूरा खत्म हो चुका है इमाम हुसैन का. करेज चाहिए खड़े रह के बात करने के लिए. आर्मी सामने खड़ी हुई है, इमाम हुसैन खड़े होते हैं बड़े बुलंद मकाम पर. खत्म इंशाअल्लाह. Why you are here? क्यों हो तुम? अम बेदीन बदल तो हाँ, अम बेशरियत गैर तो हाँ. क्या मैंने दीन में कोई अमेंडमेंट लाया है? क्या मैंने शरीयत में कोई तब्दीली लाई है? Why? इमाम ने कहा रो, तुम्हारी हालतों पे रो. Cry. फिर भी कोई हरकत नहीं. इमाम ने फरमाया कद मुलिअत बुतूनुकुम मिनल हराम. तुम्हारे शिकम हराम से भर गए. They cannot cry because they are usurping the wealth of the world. They cannot cry. They cannot prolong this usurping. One day it has to stop. Innama ya'kuluna an-nar. Quran said some people they eat food. It is not a food. It is a fire which is they are eating. Each and every bite of these countries they are eating blood of other countries. قد ملئت بطونكم من الحرام. You cannot cry. सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि. कौन इमाम हुसैन? अगर समझना है तो देखिए रिवायतों में है कि सीरत नबी में है. जब कभी इमाम हुसैन आते थे, कभी पेशानी पे, कभी गालों पे, कभी गले पे बोसा दे. used to kiss. बाज वक्त जो है कहते थे खुद बटन को खोलते थे इमाम हुसैन के सीने तक, गले के बोसे देते जाते थे सीने तक. कोई नहीं समझा कि रसूलुल्लाह करते क्यों. इमाम हुसैन जख्मी हालत में जमीन करबला पर हैं और सारा घर लुट चुका है. एक मर्तबा महसूस किया कि सीने पर कोई सवार हो चुका है. इमाम ने फरमाया कि कद इर्तफा, तूने उस बुलंद मकाम पर क़याम किया है जहां पर मेरा नाना बोसे देता था. उस बुलंद मकाम पर तू बैठा हुआ जहां पर मेरा नाना बोसे देता था. थोड़ी ही देर में करबला की जमीन को जलजला आया. आवाज गूंजी कद कुतिल हुसैन. जुलजना दलीमा कहता हुआ मक्तल से खैमगाह की तरफ आया. तारीख कहती है जब घोड़ों की हिनाने की आवाज आई तो सब बाहर निकले. तो एक मर्तबा सकीना ने लजा में परस को थामा. घोड़े ये बता, मेरे बाबा को पानी पिलाया गया या प्यासा ही शहीद कर दिया गया? घोड़ा देखता जा रहा था. एक मर्तबा जनाब ज़ैनब की तरफ इशारा किया. ज़ैनब आगे आगे, खुदा इंशाल्लाह ज़ियारत नसीब करे. जब पहुंचा है घोड़ा तले ज़ैनबिया पर खुदा किसी बहन को भाई का ये आलम ना दिखाए। शिम्र जाल सुन अला सदरे। एक मर्तबा ज़ैनब दौड़ती हुई इब्न साद के पास गई। इब्न साद, तू देख रहा है नबी का नवासा कट रहा है। ए हाजरा, बच्चे की पानी की तलाश में सफा व मरवा जाना और है, यहाँ इस्लाम के बचाने के लिए। थोड़ी ही देर में आवाज गूंजी, कद कुतिल हुसैन सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि या अबा अब्दुल्लाह व अलल अरवाह अल्लती हल्लत बिफनाइक व नाखत बिरहलिक अलैकुम मिन्नस्सलाम अबदन मा बकीत व बकियल लैल व नहार वला जअलहुल्लाहु आखिरल अहद मिन्नी लिज़ियारतिकुम। अस्सलामु अलल हुसैन व अला अली इब्न अल हुसैन व अला औलादिल हुसैन व अला अस्हाबिल फ़या लैतना कुन्ना मअकुम फ़नफ़ूज़ मअकुम फ़ौज़न वल्लाह। खुदाया परवदिगारा, दीन इस्लाम बेहतरीन दीन है, इसके समझने और इस पर अमल करने की तौफीक इनायत फरमा। मालिक परचमे इस्लाम को बुलंद फरमा, दुश्मनान इस्लाम को नाबूद फरमा। परवदिगारा, ज़ालिमीन को तकफीरी ग्रुप को सफ़े हस्ती से मिटा दे, मज़लूमीन की मदद फरमा। इराक़ में भी इस्लामी हुकूमत का क़याम कर दे। आयतुल्लाह सिस्तानी मकाम मुअज़्ज़म रहबरी आयतुल्लाह ख़ामनी मराज मोमिनीन, जहाँ जहाँ उनकी जान माल आबरू और इज़्ज़त की हिफाजत फरमा। परवदिगारा, एक ही हुकूमत है जिसको हम अपनी और इस्लामी कहते हैं, इसकी तरफ निगाहें उठ रही हैं। जो बुरा इरादा कर रहे हैं उन्हीं की, उनकी निगाहों को उन्हीं की तरफ लौटा दे। वमन काद अल इस्लाम फ़क़िद हो वमन अराद अल इस्लाम फ़अरिद हो। परवदिगारा, बहक़ मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद, जो परेशान हाल है उनकी परेशानियों को दूर फरमा। बेरोज़गारों को रोज़गार इनायत फरमा, मकरूज़ों के कर्ज़ों का अदा फरमा। जो बीमार हैं, जिन्हें इल्तिमास दुआ कहा है, उन सबको सेहत कामिल आजिला इनायत फरमा। हमारे जिस्मानी अमराज के साथ साथ हमारे रूहानी अमराज में गुरूर व हसद व किब्र व निफाक़ व निख़वत व ग़ीबत को दूर फरमा। मुसलमानों में मोमिनीन में इत्तिहाद इत्तिफ़ाक़ की तौफ़ीक़ इनायत फरमा। जल्द से जल्द मौला का ज़ुहूर फरमा।
Maulana, if you don't mind,
Question and answer.
yeah, please.
Yes,
If there's anybody who would like to ask some questions arising from today's topic, then please feel free to do so.
yeah. एक आधा गिलास पानी दे।
I was going to say, you know, the current situation in Lebanon.
Yeah.
Mashallah, say, when you look at history, and and you look at how Hezbollah, the party of God, we named our football team after that, some tournament next week. But like the way they started off, they were very, downtrodden, uneducated. The Christians, the other Sunni brothers were very educated in Lebanon, and how now in what 50
Everything
years,
is
transformed and changed, and now they've got veto power. So what's this current situation? How does it look for the Shias in Lebanon at the moment? They're very powerful.
Alhamdulillah, thank God. It is why? It is because of they were following total Islamic values and the values which has been taught by Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam. While the war of 34 days was going on, a professor of social professor, she said, Hezbollah is not few people. Hezbollah is majority of Lebanese because they do serve with the criteria of humanitarian basis. If any house is demolished, within no time that house is being constructed by Hezbollah. And the education, the social welfare system has been done by Hezbollah. So the teaching of Ahlul Bayt is not theoretically just like we have, they made it as a practical. And once we do it, the result has to be there. Another thing is, which I said last week in our center also, there has to have leadership, local leadership and the central leadership. There should be communication between leadership of local and central, and total surrender to the will of the leadership. Then their success is there. If you don't do that, there is not going to be. In this war of 34 days, 18th day, as Hasran Nasrullah called the Rahbar, he said, our youths, those who are fighting, They don't have food. We could not reach to them. They are only drinking water. They are fighting. Should we stop now? Rabbi said, no. Stay. Inshallah, very soon you will see the result. Then he never called. For 33 days, 34th day, the result is announced. Those people who used to say, no, we don't want to talk, they themselves, they stop the war. So the Hezbollah's history, I think all of us, we have to learn, we have to teach, we have to, and I think it is totally following the path of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam in its totality rather than in its partiality, just like we use Islam as a matter of convenience. This is very beautiful, we use it. And no, Islam is total package, either take it or leave. Salawat. Thank you. Alaikum assalam. On kar lijiye.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
If we see now the situation, political situation from last 3 years, and we see in future, if we're going to go back and go in a worse situation, how does it relate to the Zahur of Imam Zamana? In Riwayah, do we get anything that is going to get worse economically?
Yes, it is. In fact, this subject which we started today, it needs about 10-15 majalis. Inshallah, I'm preparing for Muharram in Karachi. I might go into detail. We have hadith, or not one hadith, even khutbah of Nahjul Balagha, one portion where Imam Ali says, not a single house in the world which is not going to be, each and every house of the world is going to be affected by two things, famine and the effect of war. So before the appearance of Imam Zaman Ajalullah, that doesn't mean that we have to prepare because of this. We have to be prepared all the time. We have to get ready as if he is coming tomorrow. So how can you prepare? By learning about Islam and following totally. Yes.
Assalamu alaikum. Just a comment on Lebanon, then I'll ask a question. I was very lucky to be there in 2000 after the liberation of the South and the leadership thing that you're referring to. There's a village in South Lebanon called Marjaoun, which is a Christian village. And Sayyid Nasrullah at that time said that not even one Christian should be slapped on his face for the wrongs that they had committed. And when that instructions went out, no one actually touched any Christians. So I think that shows the sort of leadership. And the second sort of related to that, I think as an example of how the Lebanese leadership is following, is because Lebanon is a very complex country. It's a tiny country of a population of about 5 million. Then you've got Christians, and within Christians you've got Catholics, you've got Armenians, you've got, miscellaneous others. Even amongst the Muslims, you've got Shias, the Sunnis, the Druze, and you name it. Everyone is there. Shias perhaps constitute about 50% of the population now. And I think this is the real sort of example that I tell all the brothers, is that to operate in a complex country like Lebanon, where even the Christians, as you know, support Hezbollah now. There are certain Christian MPs who've been sponsored by Hezbollah because in that particular territory. So as Muslims, as Shias, as us living in the West, Canada, USA, we need to build bridges with the wider community so that the message of the Ahlul Bayt and the true message of Islam can penetrate to them. And I normally say that if the enemy is there to kill you, at least let them not be your, if they don't want to be your friends, let them not be your enemies, at least. So that's just a comment. Yeah. My question was really on the issue of what you were talking about, Islamic banks and interest-free and so on. There's a particular country on this planet, as you know, which says, in God we trust, on their currency. Perhaps do you think they should remove that from that currency at this moment?
Yes, many. I can say the answer is, in the battle of Siffin, then the other side of Imam Ali, the enemies, they realize they are losing the battle. They trick by taking Quran and saying Allah is La hukma illa lillah. There is no command but command of Allah. The naive Muslims, because of the Quran, the ayah, everybody was. Imam Ali rushed towards that and he said historical sentence. Kalimatul haq yuradu bihal batil. The creed is right, but the intention is bad. So many a times there are good slogans, but the intentions are bad. The currency slogan is very beautiful. The intentions is bad. Nothing, there is no God. Yeah. If they have them, even the teachings of Jesus, Hazrat Isa, has been not there. Where it is, in which religion? Forget the religion. Where in humanity such a thing which happens? You usurp the wealth of others for sake of yours. And entire world is watching. It is happening. And forget the reaction from others. Muslims, what we are doing. We Shias, what we are doing. We don't know. First of all, we are unaware. Inna Allah alimun bil-zalimin. That means if I am praying namaz, I have to be alim bil-zalimin. I have to know what their plannings are. How they are planning are. Unfortunately, we are unaware. Alaikum salam.
Assalamu alaikum. Some years back, I read a saying of Imam Ali to the effect that no one becomes rich without the blood and sweat of the poor. Is that a correct saying of Imam Ali?
Close to, yeah.
Okay. Just as a thought for the brothers here, the saying is that no one becomes rich without the blood and sweat of the poor. So it's a bit like.
Even we have another hadith which says, if someone is lack of food, that means his food is snatched by others. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to everyone, all humanity, rizq. If I am eating more than what I should eat, that means I am snatching from others. Yeah.
Just on the point of a question, in terms of capacity building our community on a global level, how do we go about creating trust amongst each other? So continuously we've been hearing over the last 4 or 5 weeks, the banks are not trusting each other. They're not lending to each other. We have an issue here of trusting each other in this whole. How do we go about developing the capacity of our people so that they actually learn to trust each other, so that that trust goes forward into future generations?
Yeah. In this speech I said it clearly. Quran says, إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةٌ. Mu'minins are brothers, each other. And that brother has to flourish in our society. And we have to start. That's why you have to start. For example, a small group. Start Qarzul Hasana. I am in Western country. Our organization is the only organization. My intention is to reach to, inshallah, nearly $1 million. We can even lend money for the houses. Small. For example, many a times I had to go to India. I had no money, but I use Visa card. And by the time I pay, maybe for £2,000, maybe I'm paying $2,500 pound. That why I have to pay to the bank if we have a system here? And by gathering 10, 20, 30, 50 pound, we can have our own system. And from there you develop the trust. And those people who are leading, they should be so honest enough. The transparency of each and everything should be clear, so that the trust each and every time is building higher and higher. And professionalism has to be there. And of course, the Iman is number one. I believe in Barzakh. If I believe in Roza Qiyamah, I have to render account. فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَى وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا. Atom of my action will be questioned. So that is how we have to do something. Yeah. Anyone else? Alaikum salam. कुछ हिलाना पड़ेगा जी.
My question is, the history of Islam, and it starts from the Hijrah, when the Prophet ﷺ migrated from Makkah to Medina. Now there were two clients who were enemy to each other. They were behind each other's blood. The first thing the Prophet did was to make them brothers. And if we read the history, obviously, Aga, you are more learned, I cannot see a single battle which was lost, though they were fewer in number, but because of the unity, two enemies got together. What have we learned in spite of that? It's a history. I mean, it was the first thing of Islam. Even now, if you see, we have got differences. That I'm from Hyderabadi, I'm from Punjab, I'm a Khoja. We are always disunited. In fact, we are seeing at each other to fall rather than exchange views. You know, I could have some good quality, my brother would have some good quality as well. So there is an exchange. Whereas we are always looking upon something bad, and that is even making us weaker. What do you think the reasons are? Thank you.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, the Quranic ayat, وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا وَاذْكُرُوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ إِذْ كُنْتُمْ أَعْدَاءً فَأَلَّفَ بَيْنَ قُلُوبِكُمْ فَأَصْبَحْتُمْ بِنِعْمَتِهِ إِخْوَانًا. You mu'mineen are brothers of each other, and you should hold fast to the rope of Tawheed, وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ, rope of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And remember, recall the blessings when you were enemy to each other, and it is because of religion you became brothers. And what kind of religion we have? Because of religion we are departing each other. In the name of Imam Hussain we depart, and someone can open a center in the name of Imam Hussain without considering maybe besides something is there. There is now, because everyone says, okay, majlis ho rahi hai, hum kya keh sakte hain? We cannot say that. So that's why the leadership, following the leadership, and closely learning Islam and closely following Islam, what I learned, and totally today I learned this, I have to follow that. I have to believe. That's why Quran says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. Mu'mineen are completely there. Their perspective, their vision is completely different than others. So we are lack of that. Leadership, understanding of religion, and then the willingness to meet each other. And the third thing is, I think this is, I should say it is very beautiful. Lastly, I was saying in Bustani Zara Salawat Pari Muhammad Muhammad. The biggest problem here is for us when it comes to just law. Rizwan, he called me, he asked me about question of Imam Zamana. We are the follower of Ahlul Bayt. We believe divinely leadership always. Once Prophet left, there's the leadership of Imamat, Hukumat of Imamat. Okay, Prophet left, Imam Ali was Hakim, even though they took the Khilafah, but real Hakim was Imam Ali. After Imam Ali, Imam Hassan, it goes to Imam Zamana. Imam Hassan Askari Shahadat. The mistake we do today is say Imam is going to come. Yes, he is going to come, but Hukuma it is now is Imam's Hukuma. That is the thing we have to instill in my mind. So reflection of that Imamat is in the shape of Marja'iyah, in the shape of Islamic Republic of Iran. That is a reflection. Real Hukuma in the world is Hukumat of Imam Zamana. Once we say that is a Hukumat of Imam Zamana, there has to have Dajjal. So I need Marifat of Imam and Marifat of the Dajjal. How many of us know Bilderberg? Anyone knows? Anyone? Nobody knows. Learn today. Young chops, I ask you to go, please, when you go, and sit on the computer and do homework. Number 2, Freemason. No, Freemason, because of you heard many things. But Bilderberg is the top of the list. What they do inside, no reporter has the right to go inside. And their manifesto, the top manifesto, there should not be any religion in the masses. They say it is because of religion problem starts. So where to wage the war, how to bring crash the economic system. Everything they are planning. And they are the Dajjal of today. And not only we have to have ma'rifat of Dajjal of those, but also we have to let others know, even all other human beings. You see, there are so many things which we can go and gather and have the unity of humanity, not only community. For example, يَمْلَوْ الْأَرْضَ قِسْطًا وَعَدْلَ بَعْدَمَا مُلِئَتْ ظُلْمًا وَجَوْرًا. When Imam comes, he is going to fill earth with justice and equity, while it would have been filled with injustice and cruelty. Now my question is, why this hadith? يَمْلَوْ الْأَرْضَ قِسْطًا وَعَدْلًا. Why قِسْطًا وَعَدْلًا? Why not يَمْلَوْ الْأَرْضَ إِسْلَامًا وَإِيمَانًا بَعْدَمَا مُلِئَتْ كُفْرًا وَنِفَاقًا? Why not this hadith is this way? He is going to fill earth with Islam and Iman, while it would have been filled with kufr and nifaq. No, hadith says he is going to fill with justice. So that means justice is a slogan of humanity. We are the follower of Ahlul Bayt. We believe in justice. What we have done? Every day we see injustice in this part of the world. So recognizing the ma'rifat of Imam Zamana, and at the same time having the ma'rifat of Dajjal of today. Dajjal means the one who invites towards wrong. That is Dajjal. And we don't have any insight. And they are planning. Alhamdulillah, to counter this, Allah has given miracle. I believe me, many people still they don't know the intensity of the revolution of Islamic Republic of Iran. Many of us, we don't have the knowledge how beautiful it is to stand in UNO in front of 200 countries representative, recite Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, say the name of Imam Zamana, say the name of Bibi Fatima Zahra, inviting all humanity towards this spirituality and telling the liars, your time is come, lost, you will going to finish. That courage comes إن الذين قالوا ربنا الله ثم استقاموا تتنزل عليهم الملائكة ألا تخافوا ولا تحزنوا. What's happening to us? मैं एक छोटी सी मिसाल देता हूँ. There was a king in India, Akbar, and he had advisor, very close, Birbal, wazir. One day he asked, I want to know, ऐसी कौम मेरी बताओ जो बददियानत है, जिनके पास ईमान ही नहीं. So I will show you. ऑर्डर किया बीरबल ने पूरे शहर में, बादशाह को फलां तारीख को 1 सेर दूध की जरूरत है. 1 liter milk king wanted. So एक हाउस बना दिया गया कि सब लोग ला करके उस हाउस में 1 लीटर बादशाह को मिल्क दे. सारे भंगियों को बता गए, दूध वालों को, मिल्क बिजनेस करने वालों. After that time he took the king in front of house, वहाँ पूरा पानी था. Everybody was thinking कि उतने दूध में मेरा 1 सेर पानी कहाँ जाएगा. None of them they brought milk. All of us are same thing. मैं अकेला क्या कर सकता हूँ, मैं अकेला क्या कर सकता हूँ, मैं अकेला क्या कर सकता हूँ. No बाबा, each and one of us we can do it. Let's do it. सलावत पढ़िए मोहम्मद. रॉन्ग पर्सपेक्टिव हमारे साथ. अब हम लोग कभी मौलवी पे डालते हैं, कभी वही बात है कि वो खैबर में जो है भाग गए, तो कभी लीडर पे डाल रहे थे, कभी पब्लिक पे डाल रहे थे. हम लोग कभी मौलवी पे डालते हैं, कभी अपने पे डालते हैं. रॉन्ग है. या दैट्स इट. नहीं, Allah, Islam has done very well, inshallah. Islam does very well.
Assalamu
alaikum salam.
You were talking about the Islamic banking system, which isn't very Islamic at all, considering it's based on interest, loosely if not totally based on interest system. I was wondering how you could actually create a system, an Islamic system, where you could bank and still have a profitable and an efficient bank. And
yeah, Islam introduces mudaraba, which is partnership. There are people, those who have wealth, those who don't have ability to do something, meaning they cannot come in the market and do work. So there are people, those who have abilities and they don't have money. They join together and they construct a mutual understanding of Modara, which is the business. When I go to bank asks me, Islamic bank, how many days you are going to put this money? So I say, for example, 6 months or 1 year. So the bank interest, it takes in trust, not interest, taking interest of my money, and they give to that person, the brother, in business. And that brother, while doing business, they have the communication, 50%, whatever percentage of the amount they get from the profit of that business, it comes to the bank. So in fact, profit is going around, not the interest. This is one of the way Bank of Islam works. No. In trust. In trust. I pay money, I give money, I give interest to the bank, not interest. No.
Get 1/3
Of course.
the profit.
Of course.
So that again will be calculated in the amount money. So 1/3 percentage of 1/3 will be mine.
Yes.
So you can't remove the percentage out, can you?
That is not a percentage. But for example, I put money in the bank of Islamic bank, for example, 50,000 pound. If bank says, we will going to give you after 6 months this amount, this much interest and a profit, that is wrong. Bank says, we will see how we are business because we are doing business, and once after 6 months, we calculate accordingly, we distribute.
So it's not a fixed.
It cannot be fixed. There is one fix also. There is another discussion also. What? Because of the constant Islamic bank has done business in 10, 20 years, they know how much profit are they gaining in particular areas of the business, and how much expenditures they have upon themselves, and accordingly they distribute, and also they fix.
I still don't understand how can you remove the percentage on the profit, because every investment will be giving X amount of money on their ability, but the percentage wise will be distributed to them.
That's the percentage we are talking about. There is no percentage. That's what I'm saying. Proportional.
May I just try to clarify?
Yes, Mr.
There is a misconception sometimes among the brothers, quite often, that interest-free banking is cost-free banking. Interest-free banking is interest-free, but it's not cost-free. That's what I think we need to understand about the whole concept. And if I may just clarify on that, say for example, if I go to someone and he lends me £100 to do business, in finance and economics something is called opportunity cost. So for that £100, if I had invested in something else, I might have made a profit from it. And secondly, there is also inflation, which again is a very complex thing which I don't want to go into at this moment. But if I return that £100 to the brother in 5 years' time, that £100 will not have the same value. Therefore, Islam, being a just religion, will have a compensatory structure whereby when the money is returned, should have a certain value to purchase that particular product. So I think that's what needs to be understood very clearly. And the second thing is, what Maulana, you were suggesting that in Canada you're doing is of sort of microfinance, what Muhammad Yunus of Grameen Bank in Bangladesh has done very well. That bank is worth $6 billion at this moment. And they lend only 100 rupees, 200 rupees, that kind of money. So I think in the current economic climate,
it's the best.
Our community living here in London, in Toronto, in New York, or wherever, and in fact, I had a privilege of meeting him last year, and he said, look, you brothers can start a business with, $1,000.
Yes.
Each of you just put $100 and start lending from that. And you put a margin saying that it will cost so much, and it has to be done very transparently, very clearly, and so on. So it's not huge amounts of money that one is talking about. But it can build up very well. Sorry, Mom.
Another thing is that in the Western countries, that most of the money goes to CEOs, the officers. When you see calculate the salary of these people and why they are afraid of Islamic Republic of Iran, is one of the reason is this: the expenditure of Ahmadinejad and expenditure of the President of America. I'm not comparing. I know that the breakdown of the haircut of Clinton during his time, $186,000 for haircut, because he loved for particular. At that time, there has to have a security and these. By the time the bill came, $186,000. Whose money is this? Today, $700 billion bailout for American banks. Majority of us know some banks are run by the Jewish people, and majority of them the Zionists. So to whom we have to bail out? The Zionists. So we don't have this much courage to let other brothers, Christian brothers, Jewish brothers, let them know this is happening zulm to you. It is injustice to you. Why you have to pay for the mistake of those others? That's why I said, at least understanding of dhulm if we have, and we can inject this to the masses. There is a revolution in the Western country. But we have to wake up and understand this ideology itself, inshallah. चलिए बड़ी खुशी भी इल्तिमास दुआ अल्लाहुम्मा कुल्ल वलियक al-Hujjat ibn al-Hasan salawatuka alayhi wa ala abaihi fi hadhihi as-sa'a wa fi kulli sa'a waliya wa hafidha wa qa'ida wa nasira wa dalila wa 'ayna hatta tuskinahu ardaka taw'a wa tumatti'ahu fiha tabila birahmatika ya aqibatu lil muttaqin wal jannatu lil mu'minin wan naru lil kafirin. والصلاة والسلام على أكرم الأنبياء والمرسلين بالقاسم محمد صلى على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد ورحمة الله على محبيهم ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين. أما بعد فقد قال الله بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ومن يبتغي غير الإسلام دينا فلن يقبل منه وهو في الآخرة من الخاسرين. خیلی خوشحالیم که دیدار شما، خیلی خوش آمدید. خوب میگذره. از چند سال هستی که شما اینجا هستید؟ 8 سال ماشاءالله. شما 7 نیم 8 9 سال تقریبا نزدیک ها. بله، ما اینجا که میاییم جاهای غریب و دور از خود خانه های ما، خودمون را بایستی بپرسیم که ما کی ها هستیم. Who are we؟ و کجاها داریم میریم. این سوالی است که خود قرآن مطرح میکنه. دو راه دیگر نداره، راههایی که قرآن مشخص میکنه. یک راه مادی، یک راه معنویه. راه سومی نداریم ما، هیچ راه third way is not there. راه مادی همینه که اگر ما قصه های قرآن را بخونیم، فلسفه داره، هر قصه عاقبتش فلسفه داره. قرآن میگه ما فرطنا من الکتاب فی الکتاب من شیء، ما هیچ چیز را وا نگذاشتیم، همه چیز در قرآن هست. اگر نمیدونه اون مسلمین نمیدونن، اما خود قرآن همه چیز گفت. ولقد صرفنا للناس في هذا الكتاب في هذا القرآن من كل مثل، ما در این قرآن همه مثال ها زدیم برای راهنمای مردم. هیچ چیز دیگری لازم نداره از بیرونی. در این قرآن یک راهی که داریم اون این است که راه مادی. قل من یحیی العظام وهی رمیم، یک شخصی میاد پیش رسول الله صلی الله علیه و آله و سلم همراش یک استخوان مرده. میگه که کی زنده میکنه؟ اینی که مرده تمام شده دیگه. من یحیی العظام وهی رمیم، الان بوسیده، هیچ اثری نداره. وهی میاد با رسول خدا میگه قل یحیی الذی انشأ اول مره وهو بكل خلق علیم. بهشون بگو همون خدایی که تو که هیچ نبودی خلق کرده، الان که آسان داره خلق کردن. الان بعد از 400 سال اسلام ساینس راه های علمی خیلی پیشرفت کرده، میگه که یک دی‌ان‌ای از یک دی‌ان‌ای میتونیم شخص دیگر را خلق کنیم. خود استخوان خیلی چیزه دی‌ان‌های های زیاد داره. این شخصی که آمده پیش رسول الله میگه که هیچ قبری نیست، قبر و آخرت و چیزی نیست، همه ما میمیریم تمام میشه. این فکریه، یک فکر هست که انسان هر وقت در ذهنش هست که چیه اصلا چیه. have fun، این هم میگن have fun you have only one life to live. شما فقط یک زندگی دارید، بخورید برید از اینجا. از این زندگی خیلی زیاد شما بهره‌ور بشید. یک فکر مادی الان هم هست، از اول هم بوده، از اول وقت که حضرت آدم پسرانش، 2 تا پسر، یک پسرش قاتل یک پسرش مقتوله. اونی که قاتل همین میگفت هیچ نداریم، خدا و چیزی نیست، من میکشم هیچ چیز راه دیگری نیست. اونی که خواهد کشت میگه که شما میتونید بکشید، من نمیتونم بکشم. راه بنده بسته. کی بسته راه؟ لئن بسطت یدک ان تقتلنی، دست شما باز شده برای قتل بنده، من نمیتونم، من بسته از دسته های ما. چرا؟ من از خداوند تبارک و تعالی میترسم. انی اخاف الله رب العالمین. این دو راه معنوی، یک مادی. ما نمیتونیم مثل ولگرد اینجا بشیم، نمیتونیم هر زنی که میاد بره همراه بخوابه بره، هیچ حدودی نیست، هیچ اثری نیست. چرا؟ این مثل حیوانه. اما ما که متعهد و اسلام هستیم، گفتیم لا اله الا الله محمد رسول الله صلی الله علیه و آله و سلم، اون وقت میگیم که ما این راه که شناختیم راه دین و راه معنویه. همه کارهای ما مشخصه، همه کارهای ما مسئولیت داره. فمن یعمل مثقال ذره خیرا یرا و من یعمل مثقال ذره شرا یرا. اگر ذره باشه عمل ما، اون بایستی اجرش بایستی، اگر خوب باشه اجرش هست، اگر بد باشه خیلی هم عقابش هم خیلی بده. این دو راه ما بایستی امروز تشخیص بدیم. ما هم همراه شما بنده از این مغرب زمین تقریبا 29 سال هستم در کانادا. ما بایستی بپرسیم کجا هستی، من کی هستم، من کیم. امام علی علیه السلام میگه عجبت لمن یطلب ضالته ولا یطلب نفسه. این خیلی تعجب آور است که اگر یه چیزی گم بشه از شما خیلی تلاشش میکنید. اگر اون قیمتش زیاد باشه تلاش شما بیشتره. گم شده دارد شما تلاش میکنید، اما خود شما گم کردید تلاش نمیکنید. امام علی میگه امروز برید شب با بستر بخوابید، بپرسید خود شما رو من کی هستم، who am I، کجا میرم، where I'm going، این تذهبون. قرآن میگه کجا میرید شما. مواظب باشید شما مسلم هستید، شما موافق به دین هستید، هر جایی نرید شما. وقتی که ما این احساس مسئولیت از انسان در بیاره هیچ نمیمونه. sense of responsibility is gone. ما مسئول هستیم. مسئولیت ما خود به نفس خود ما هست، مسئولیت ما با خانواده خود ما هست، مسئولیت ما با این جامعه و سوسایتی هست. خداوند تبارک و تعالی چرا اینجا ظلم شد ما اینجا آمدیم ولی همینجا میموندیم. ما یک راهی دیگری هست. خدا ما را سفیران اسلام گذاشته کرده که بری شما در راه دور از دین صحبت کنید، خود شما یک نمونه بشید. امام صادق علیه السلام خیلی حدیث جالبی دارن، میفرمایند که ادعوا الناس بغیر السنتکم، دعوت کنید مردم را اما زبان به زبانی و هیچ نگید. یعنی انقدر عمل کنید که عمل شما دعوت کننده باشه. که شما وقتی که میرید کونوا لنا زینا ولا تکونوا علینا شینا، برای ما باعث زینت بشید. یعنی وقتی که میرید رام باعث بدونن اینها اونهایی هستند که با امام جعفر صادق علیه السلام علاقه دارن. اما زندگی ما میبینیم هیچ جایی هستیم. چرا؟ اینجا آمدیم دیدیم خیلی هوا بازه، اوه هیچ کس نیست دیگه. have fun man. خیلی هوا بازه، هیچ کس نیست. نمیپرسه که چه میکنی. باز این هر کمک هم میکنن برای چیزهای بدی، کمک هم میکنن که هیچ اشکالی نداره. شما مشغول این کارها باشید، شما هیچ ترسی نداشته باشید، ترس از بین میره. ترس از بین میره. ما قرآن میگه که انی اخاف الله رب العالمین. آن پسر حضرت آدم، اونی که میگفت من دست بنده بسته، میگه که من میترسم از خدا. شما نمیترسم. ما آمدیم اینجا، من میپرسم من میترسم از کی میترسم؟ آیا از خدا میترسم؟ از اگر خدا میترسم بایستی دست بنده بسته بشه. من نمیتونم سرقه کنم، نمیتونم I cannot steal because انی اخاف الله رب العالمین. من زنا نمیتونم بکنم، چرا؟ انی اخاف الله رب العالمین. مشکل ما یکی از آسیب های دینی ما این هست که ما خودمون دین را نمیدانیم. دین گذاشتیم مثل اینجا میگن وقتی که غذا صرف میشه توی میزی میذارن، میگن بافه. توی صف وایستید میگیرید اون چیزی که دوست دارید، این میشه بافه. ما هم مذهب دین را میگرفتیم از بافه. اون چیزی که دوست داریم میگیریم. نؤمن ببعض نکفر ببعض. We believe in something, we disbelieve in something. ما بعضی را ایمان داریم، بعضی را ایمان نداریم، ما قبول نداریم. قرآن میگه نه، این دین پکیجه، جملش دینه. اگر همش بگیرید مسلمینی، بعضش را بگید بعضش را ول کنید، نمیتونید مسلم بشید. شما اصلا اسلام نمیدونید. اسلام دعوت اینجوری نکنید که هر چیزی کارا بکنید، فقط 2 رکعت نماز بخونید برید. نه، شما مسئولیت دینی دارید، مسئولیت معنوی دارید. اولین مرحله توصیه بنده برای شما و خود به نفس بنده این هست که خود شما را پیدا کنید، خود شما را بطلبید. کجا هستم من؟ کی هستم من؟ حقیقت بنده چیه؟ من چه بایستی بکنم که خوبتر بشم و مسئولیتم بیشتر بشه و من سفیر اسلام بشم در این زمین، در این دنیا. و اگر بشه یک نفر اونهایی که از میگن استریت بایز، اینها را اگر دعوت کنیم برای طرف دین، خودمون ماشاءالله چقدر ثواب داره. کی میتونه به کارها اینها کارها بکنه؟ اونهایی که خودمون اعتماد داشته باشیم دین ما دین اصل حقیقت دین همینه. یا از این دین بیشتر از این غیر از این دین هیچ نداره. و من یبتغی غیر الاسلام دینا فلن یقبل منه. قرآن میگه غیر از دین اسلام ما هیچ قبول نداریم، هیچ قبول نداریم. شما هر کاری کنید، اما اگر غیر از اسلامه هیچ قبول. اسلام یعنی تسلیم شدن با قوانین الهیه. نمیدونم شما آزاد هستی، شما ازدواج کردید؟ اینجا خانواده داری شما؟ افغانستان. از کی اونجا هستن؟ از 9 سال که شما هستید تو تنها هستید؟ شما هم تنها هستید؟ شما که خانواده هست؟ الحمدلله. شما که تنها هستید چطور میتونید زندگی کنید؟ مشکل نیست؟ 6 ماه چی میشه؟ 6 ماه که هستید اینجا باز کافیه؟ بدون زن میتونه بشه؟ نه، امام صادق میگه که وقتی که من بخوابم تنها بخوابم دوست ندارم، زن باعث پهلوش من باشه. 6 ماه که میری 6 ماه میمونی چجور میشه؟ انسان نیست؟ انسان دیگه. این چیزها از خودشه، این نیست. اسلام نگفته که شما برید راهب بشید، رهبانیت بشید. نه، اسلام میگه نه، زندگی کنید، با همراه زن و فرزندان باشید، اما وقت الله اکبر گفته شد همش ول کنید برید پیش خدا. اینه دین. راهایی که اما 6 ماه که تنها هستید بعضی وقت برخورد میکنید با زن. اینجا نیست. اینجا اگر قوانین دین اگر داشته باشیم میتونیم کارهایی که میتونیم حلال کنیم. قوانین صیغه هم میدونی که نمیدونی؟ کم امینی. چرا نمیدونی؟ اون کاری که همون حلاله، اگر ببینید 2 تا گوسفنده، یکیش گفته بسم الله، یکی گفته نگفته بسم الله. اونی که گفته بسم الله اون حلال شده، اونی که گفته نشده بسم الله حرام شده. فقط بسم الله میخواد. قانون دین اینجور آسانه، اما قانون اگر خودمون بدونیم، اون کارهای زشت میشه کارهای حلال، کارهای حرام میشه کارهای حلال. اون وقت باعث ما از دین قریب بشیم. شما باعث من توصیه میکنم درس ها از علما انشاءالله ماشاءالله در این خود لندن خیلی علما داریم، اونهایی که فارسی میدونن درس خوندن در قوم میتونن با شما حالی کنن. از اول یاد بگیرید وضو چیه، شرایط وضو چیه، نماز چیه، شرایط نماز چیه، روزه چیه، زکات چیه، خمس چیه، اون وقت ازدواج چیه، صیغه چیه، صیغه چطور میتونیم بکنیم، یک شبه میتونه یا نمیشه، چه شرایطی داره. قوانین دین اگر بدونید همه کارها در حدود شریعت حلال میشه، اما بیرون حدود شریعت میرید اون حرام. اون که حرام میشه مسئولیت خیلی زیاد داریم. مسئولیت اینقدر زیادی که رسول الله صلی الله علیه و آله وقتی که رفتن تشریف بردن معراج، در آسمان اول دیدن بعضی مردها بعضی زنها با پستان خود اینها لخت دارین هنگی که میگن آویزان است. مردم هست از پرایویت پار آویزان. پرسیدن چیه؟ چرا اینجا؟ گفتن اینها زنا کرده. اینها میگه ما بایستی اون برسیم اونجا، ما میتونیم اون ببینیم، اما از در این دنیا اینقدر کثافت در برای ما حجاب آورده همه چیز. گفتن نه، از لحاظ شرع هر 4 ماه زن حق داره که بره واجبه، هر 4 ماه. اما اینجا که نمیتونیم بریم 4 ماه، بعضی ها 2 سال میرن، اما اینقدر پول ندارن که این خرج کنن. اسلام میگه نه، شما چرا خانواده نمیارید؟ نمیتونید بیارید؟ خدا انشالله زیاد کنه، چیه هیچ کار نداره. انشالله خدا انشالله همه حفظشون کنه انشالله. نمیتونید بیارید اونا را، خیلی خرج زیاده. بله همین. شما تازه نامزد شدی؟ چند سال هستی شما؟ 30 سال تازه نامزد شدید. از 17 سال تا 30 سال که چه کردید؟ تحمل کردید شما؟ خوبه، اگر تحمل بکنید خوبه. چرا تحمل کنیم؟ راه های حلال داریم، چرا تحمل کنیم؟ مشکله. انسان میگه، ببینید حدیث داریم من تزوج احرز نصف دینه فلیتق الله فی النصف الاخر. من هر شخصی که ازدواج میکنه نصف دینش نگاه داشت میشه، میتونیم تحفظ کنیم. اینقدر بیولوژیکال فاکتور انسان و ضروریات انسان، اینقدر اسلام میگه که این لازمه. این نیست که فقط شما اسلام میگه که شما اسلام بیارید هیچ، نه، خیلی هم توصیه کرده. چرا؟ میدونه که اگر این مرحله صاف نشیم اون وقت تقوا هیچ وقت حاصل نمیشه. باعث ما در این زمینه کار کنیم، باعث دین را بفهمیم. چیه دین؟ چیه؟ من دیندار هستم، من مسلم هستم، من شیعه هستم، چیه هستم، من چی هستم؟ میدونید من این یکی از نگرانی ما هست، ما که روحانی هستیم. من خیلی گریه میکنم. بچه من خودم 6 تا بچه دارم. من دعا میکنم خدایا من که میرم اینها که میمیونن چه خواهد شد. خیلی هم سکیری در سواره، خیلی مشکل. مثالی میزنم، اگر از تاریخ ما دست نگیریم خیلی مشکل میشه. 180,000 مسلمین ترکیه رفتن بعد از جنگ جهان اول امریکا. 180,000. الان کجا هستن در امریکا نمیدونم هیچ کس. یعنی منگل شدن بچه، همش مثلا همش رفت. 180,000 الان چقدر میشه؟ 3-4 تا نسل معلوم میشه بیشتر از 1 میلیون. 1 میلیون مسلمین کجا هستن؟ زم شدن، مسیحی شدن، نمیدونن کجا شدن. این تاریخ اینجاست. تاریخ این نیست که 1400 سال. این تاریخ این. اونهایی که آمدن اینجا اگر دین نداشته باشن میشن منگل، در این لی میشن. اونها مسئولیت بنده که من آمدم با بچه چیه؟ من سن سنتا حسنه یبقى الی یوم القیامه. اگر سنت حسنه خوبی داشته باشید تا قیامت میمونه، اگر سنت بد داشته باشید تا قیامت میمونه. این مسئولیت ما داریم. اگر ما ببخشید من خیلی حرف میزنم، اینها را از این جهت یک هفته نشستی با روحانیت خیلی لازمه. برای بچه های دیگری که هستن اونها را بیارید. این مراکز دینی خیلی زیاد دارد، اینها روحانیون هستن. شهید مطهری میگه که ما میرفتیم پیش امام خمینی درس اخلاقشون شبهای جمعه. اینقدر محتوا داشت، میترسیدم. اینقدر میترسیدیم اثرش میمون تا جمعه، هفته، شنبه، یک شنبه، دو شنبه، سه شنبه احساس میکردیم که اون یک درس دیگری لازم داره. شهید مطهری میگه هر هفته من لازم دارم. تصدع القلوب کما تصدع الحدید. مثل آهن که زنگ می آید قلوب ها ما هم زنگ می آید. قرآن میگه، حدیث میگه فقیل یا رسول الله و ما جلاه. اگر آهن علیه السلام اگر آهن که زنگ آمد ما چه میکنیم؟ کمیکلی داریم، میتونیم زنگ را بیرون بیاریم. اما قلوب ما، دلهای ما زنگ بگیره چه میشه؟ اگر چرک بگیره چه میشه؟ دو تا کار بکنید. تلاوت القرآن هر روز قبل از خوابیدن شما، من هم توصیه خودمون را میکنم، شما هم بکنید. قبل از خوابیدن 5 تا آیت با ترجمه بخونید، انشالله حاصل میشه. دو تا دومین کار دوم یاد مرگ باشه. یه روز بایستی برن. اونی که میرم اون اترنله، همیشگیه، نمیتونه برگردن. وقیل ارجعونی لعلی اعمل صالحا. وقتی که میریم قبر، قرآن میگه، مردم میگن او خدا بذار من میرم برگردم، عمل خیری بکنم برگردم. میگه الان وقتش تمام شد. الان هیچ وقت نداره. توصیه ما این هست که اینجا در این زمین ما بچه ها را آوردیم، ما خودمون را آوردیم، مسئولیت داریم، مسئولیت خودمون درباره خودمون داریم. بعد وقت خانواده که هست، قو انفسکم و اهلیکم نارا، قرآن میگه بپرهیز خود شما. وقتی که آتش میاد خدایی نخواسته در خونه شما چه میکنید؟ بیرون میاد از خونه. قرآن میگه که خانه ها آتشه، ببینید بچه های خود شما نگاه دارید، از اونجا برید بیرون. در این دنیا هیچ نداریم ما، اصلا هیچ. اگر دین نداریم هیچ نداریم، اگر دین داریم همه چیز داریم. از اینجا امام علی علیه السلام میگه که شما انگلیسی همش میفهمید که ایشون هم بفهمه خوبه. سمنکل جنه لا تبعوها الا بها، قیمت your prize is heaven and don't sold it but to heaven. امام علیه السلام نبایست شما این چیز دیگری ول کنید، این قیمتش خیلی زیاده، بایستی بپردازیم این قیمت های نماز و روزه و حج و این پریزگاری و چیز. اگر اینجور نباشه ما میریم ما میخوایم شما رو دعا کنید، ما هم دعا میکنیم. وقتی که میگیم اهدنا الصراط المستقیم، بایستی ما از خلوص نیت اینتنشن ما بگیم اخلاصا خدایا ما اینجا آمدیم، بچه های ما چه خواهند شد. حضرت ابراهیم دعا کرد رب اجعلنی مقیم الصلاة من ذریتی، والله let me establish prayer and not only me, my offspring also، بچه های ما. دعا میکنه وبعث فیهم رسولا منهم یتلو علیهم آیات و یزکیهم و یعلمهم الکتاب والحکمه. 3000 سال قبل، 3000 years before, he prayed for the new generation, for حضرت محمد صلی الله علیه وسلم. 3000 سال ما بچه های نسل بعدی ما هیچ ترسی نداریم. حضرت ابراهیم میگه که من میخوام سالیان بعدی هم یک رهنما، یک رهبری باشه برای مردم. مغرب زمین، دیشب داشتم اینجا صحبت میکردم، وقتی که ما میگیم امام زمان عجل الله تعالی فرجه الشریف، در ولایت امام زمان هستیم الان ما. وقتی که در ولایت امام زمان هستیم اون وقت دجال هم بایستی باشه اینجا. تشخیص بدیم دجال کی ها هستن. اون دجال اینها هست قوان. اگر شما برید اینترنت، فری میسن و اونهایی که کارهای زشتی داره میکنن، اولین مقاصد نوشتن ما نمیخوایم مذهب باشه در دنیا. شما هر برنامه‌ای که در تیوی میبینید، هر برنامه‌ای که در مدارس یا اخبارات و ذرایع ابلاغ میبینید، این نکته داره. عقبش این است که نبایستی شما دیندار بشید. اینها آوردن جنگ ها انداختن در چرا افغانستان جنگ کی انداخته؟ چرا شروع کرد؟ طالبان کیه؟ کریت شده از اینها ساختن طالبان را. اینها پول میدن، اینها میکشن. در عراق سنی شیعه که اصلا زد و خوردی نبوده، بعد از این جنگ یهو شروع شده. نه، اینها کردن. ما بایستی دشمن را بشناسیم. دشمن با خانه ما آمده، میسوزه، میکشه، ما هیچ. اون وقت میتونیم بکنیم این کارها وقتی که ما خودمون را احساس کنیم مسئولیت ما کی ها است. I hope inshallah we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be on right path inshallah. خدا همه ما را با دین ما انشاءالله نگاه داره. اگر سوالی چیزی هست خدمت شما هستیم. سلام. ببخشید من خیلی زیاد بله قادیانی میگن قادیانی. بله ببینید 3 تا مذاهب اینها ساخته شده از سیایه، این مشخص شده. در بین مسلمین اینها مذاهبی را ساختن که خود از اسلام از بین بره. اون یکیش مذهب وهابیزمه، ساخته شده از CIA. بعد از این 9 و 11 9/11 هر روز یک تیکه‌ای درباره وهابیزم و سعودی دیناستی می نوشتن در نیویورک تایمز. 6 هفته هر روز تیکه ثابت کرده که این دولت سعودی انستال شده از CIA. دین وهابیزم از طرف CIA. در ایران بهائیزم از CIA. در پاکستان و هندوستان در اون زمان یکی بوده. اون زمان این قادیان، این مرزا احمد قادیان خیلی عالم و جیده بود. یه وقت دعوا کرده بنده این خاتم النبیین که میگی شما، اون خاتم معنیش انگشته، آخرش کجایه؟ محمد رسول الله خاتم النبیین قرآن آیه داریم ما. من یک مناظری کردم عالم جید در تورنتو در 15 سال قبل، 3 آیت خوندم از قرآن. اگر جواب بدید برید بدید. تا الان اینها نیامده، نبرگشتن. اصلا این دین چرا قرآن ما مسلمین، همه مسلمین عقیده داریم محمد رسول الله صلی الله علیه وسلم خاتم النبیین هستن، آخرین پیامبر. بعد از ان لا نبی بعدی، بعد از بنده هیچ کس نخواهد بود. امام علی وصی رسوله، قرآن دیگه نمیاد. اما احمد قادیانی که ایشون خودش دعوی کرد نه، این هدایت خدا بایستی جاری بشه، من هم از خدا هستم، نبوت تمام نشده، بعد از بنده هم خواهد آمد. اینه اصل حقیقت. اینها از لحاظ دین نجیس هستند، کافر هستند. هیچ باب ما باید نبایستی با اینها مخلوط بشیم. نه، وقتی که اینها سلام بکنند بگید و علیکم، نگید و علیکم السلام. اینها سلام کردن بگید و علیکم. خیلی چیزا اصلا از آنها بپرسید که نماز بخونید، نه. اگر بگفتن بله، شما که میگید قرآن قرآن قرآن، از بیرون از قرآن هیچ چیزی نیست. نماز ظهر 4 رکعته کجای در قرآن؟ نماز عصر 4 رکعته کجای قرآن؟ بایستی یک کتابی بره. از کدوم کتب ها؟ مال همون کتاب مسلمینه. اینها گول میزنن اما منظم هستند، خیلی هم منظم هست. حیفه که باطل. امام علی میگه در یکی سخنرانی مولا امیرالمومنین علیه السلام، روحی و ارواحنا له الفدا، اگر باطل باشه با هم باشه و خیلی هم منظم باشه پیروز میشه با اینکه باطله. اگر حق باشه، متحد نباشه، منظم نباشه، ناکامه با اینکه حقه. قوانینه. امام علی میگه با امام حسن خیلی مواظب باش، این قرآن میتونه غیر از تو میتونه یادش بگیره جلو بره. این قرآن اصوله. این اصول هم میتونه مردم الان مغرب زمان اصول قرآن رو گرفتن، کلمه نخوندن لا اله الا الله، اما اصولی که برای اینها خیلی جالبه اینها گرفتن. لعن ببینید 2 راهه. قرآن لعنت الله علی الظالمین گفته. قرآن میگه که خدا هم لعنت میکنه به ظالمین. خوبه؟ هر روزی که نماز میخونیم ما لعنت میکنیم. چجور؟ اهدنا الصراط المستقیم، فوراً میگیم صراط الذین انعمت علیهم، این رحمته. غیر المغضوب علیهم ولا الضالین لعنت. اما در جلوی مسلمین سنی ها بگیم لعنت اسمشون، این خوب اسلام تربیت نکرده اینجا. احترام گذاشته باشیم. سنی ها اصلا نمیدونن دینشون چیه، مثل شیعه، مثل اکثر شیعه تولد شده از شیعیان، اما خود حقیقت شیعه چیه نمیدونه. اینها ما بایستی مواظب باشیم وقتی که صحبت میکنیم. این لعنها نفرت از ظالمینه، این نفرت بایستی داشته باشیم. اینها ظلم کردن، ظلم اینها اولین حق امیرالمومنین را گرفتن. معنیش این نیست که من میرم هر جا که میرم برام الان نمیشه که. حتی ما میگیم حدیث داریم در امام زین العابدین علیه السلام که وقتی که بعد از صلات شما 4 مرد 4 زن باید لعنت بگیر باشه. ما کیه؟ خود نماز، خود من تنها با خدا میگه اللهم لنا بابک من عمر مسمار و عائشہ افسا و انده ملک. تمام شد دیگه. اما نبایستین این لعن بره جلوی مردم. اونها خیلی احترام دارن. مثلا این بچه از بچگی یاد گرفته یا علی یا مولا، این یاد گرفته بچگی. اونها از بچگی یاد گرفتن یا عمر. خطا اینا چیه؟ اینا نمیدونه، بچه از اولیش نمیدونن دیگه. اون بچه خطا نداره. ما تعرف نکردیم، ما با اونها حالی نکردیم چیه دین، چیه اهل البیت کی هستند. اگر از اول بگیم که لعنت بر اینها قریب نزدیک شما نمیشه. بله شیطان این شرطه. بله اگر بشه. ببینید اسلام میگه که لباس مصلی 6 تا شرط داره. مصلی وقتی که میان اولین بایستی وقت نماز باشه، لباس طاهر باشه، قبله رخ باشه. این قوانین داریم ما. یکی از قانون لباس مصلیه. لباس مصلی طاهر باشه، خیلی پاک و تمیز باشه. لباس مصلی ساخته شده از چرم ها نباشه که اون حرامه. جانور مثل اون اوورکوت که میگیریم، مثلا بعضی ها سکینه چی میگن لدره، چرمی نباشه. اگر چرم حلال باشه اشکالی نداره، مثل گاو. اگر اون هم از حلال کشورهای اسلامی باعث بیاد. اما چیزهایی توی بدن دارن، مثلا تصاویر و چیزها خوبه که نبایستی باشه. در بیاریم نماز باشه. برای نماز حدیث داریم ما پاکیزه ترین لباس بپوشانید، خیلی هم خوشبو هم بزنید، خود شما را معطر کنید، با خودت دارید ملاقات میکنید. اما لباس ما خیلی خوبه. بله میدونم اون خودش هم اگر توجه شما میدید اون طرف خوب نیست. باشه نه اونی که نه بایستی باشه. بله استغفر. الحمدلله. اللهم صل علی
اگر انسان تجربه بکنه این چیزایی که علمان شیعه این چیز دو کتاب و مطمئن که این کتاب نوشته زمانی که این مسئله این مختصر میدون شاید رفتاب فکر کنه که در پیش این چی چنده.
نه سوال یاد بگیریم.